Hi everybody, my name's Colin Moon. I am the Service Director for Housing. Just been there over a year. Really good opportunity to talk to the tenants of Luton, just to talk to about what we're planning to do in the future, moving towards 22-23. Really big challenges in the housing world, particularly around the crisis that we're all experiencing around living issues and fuel and food and all of that sort of stuff, which I'm sure we're all at the sharp end of. Particularly in housing, we are a service of people, so inevitably we are going to feel it probably more than some other services around the council. So for next year we're looking forward to some great things. We're looking forward to establish a good housing service. We've got some really big challenges around homelessness. We've got big challenges around making sure that you're safe in your home. Repairs and maintenance is an issue because obviously prices are increasing. There are strikes going on all over the place. Products are being delivered not necessarily on time at the moment. So we've got all those challenges that we're dealing with. But remember, this is a people-focused business. So making sure that our tenants are safe and secure, making sure we're doing the repairs on time. But obviously, you've got to pay your rent because that's what's helped the service deliver the wonderful services that we have. Homelessness is a big issue in Luton, and we are tackling that. We've got lots of people in temporary accommodation and we're reducing that. We've got a plan to do that. But we are seeing some really large numbers coming through the doors at the moment, and we're monitoring that, watching that, dealing with those issues. We've got big issues in the private sector. We need to make sure that we've got good licensing scheme up and running in the borough. We've got a statutory scheme, but we're looking to bring in additional and selective licensing into the borough so we can start managing standards better in the private sector. And the private sector is about 29% of the dwellings in the borough, so it really is an important part of the work we're doing. And the day-to-day work that you will encounter with our concierge staff out there, with us managing sheltered accommodation as well, this is all great work that we're looking to do in the coming year. But there are big challenges. Council's got a 2040 vision, and that vision, housing is absolutely centre of. We've got to build more affordable housing for those households in housing needs. We've got to manage our housing and maintain our housing. And that 240 vision around climate change is all people focused. That's going to be our contribution to the 240 vision. It's all about housing and it's all about the people who live in them. That's my message to you. Looking forward to 2022-23 in a big way, and all the housing staff who I feel they're exceptional will be there for you.
Hello, I'm John Camp. I'm the Vice Chair of the Tenant Board. In the last financial year, we have recruited 3 new permanent members to our Tenant Board, and we have identified some new potential members, and we are working with them to join us later in the year. We have undergone a full restructure of how we work with other tenant groups and housing services. We are now looking at the STAR survey results to look at what areas we should focus on moving forward in this year. Lastly, I would like to welcome anyone who would be interested in joining us to make contact to see how we can work together. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sarah Markham and I'm Head of Housing Operations for Luton Council. What that means is I manage all the tenancy management, rent arrears, sheltered housing, the concierge and inspection service, and also tenant participation. 2021-22 has been a challenging year, still being impacted on by COVID and the backlogs caused by it. We did manage to get out to see a lot more of you though, which has been good. But there are still delays in the courts in taking cases, and we've had to use other powers for issues like antisocial behaviour. For example, we've carried out 12 injunctions and 6 full or partial property closures, which means the property will be closed from people actually visiting. In the year, we also had 17 properties back due to action for fraud, where the tenant wasn't living in the property or had sublet it. And that's a criminal offence. We had issues with rent arrears the previous year, but by the end of 21-22 we had managed to reduce our arrears substantially, so thank you to all of you that helped us do that. Rent is essential to repairs and management, so it's a priority for us. I'd like to say thank you to all the people who got involved and helped us over the year, including everyone on Tenant Board, on Scrutiny Panel, the TARA representatives, and all the tenants who carried out the STAR survey, which was about satisfaction levels, and did anything else to work with the TP team. That's tenant participation. Please do look out for the next tenant newsletters and sign up for those if you don't receive them. And lastly, I'd like to say that we all have challenges for 21, 22, 23 due to the cost of living crisis, but we in housing operations will do what we can to help you through these difficult times. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nigel MacArthur. I'm the Tenancy Services Manager, and I manage the team leaders who manage the housing officers. That's both for secure and temporary accommodation. I also manage the antisocial behaviour officers. Last year, I joined the team in October of 21, so I've only been managing the team for 6 months of the financial year. It's been a challenging year. Staffing levels were one of the biggest challenge, and at one point I only had 5 housing officers and 3 housing officers in TA to cover 7,500 properties, and as such had to prioritise the workload to just the most urgent. In that last year we have dealt with 560 ASB cases. We've worked with Affinity Water implementing the water reduction scheme, and going forwards we are now fully staffed, so I have 10 secure housing officers and 4 temporary accommodation officers, and the plan going forward is to use my officers to do more tenancy audits and to actually undertake what we call targeted intelligence-led tenancy audits. So we'll be looking at the audits of the tenants with the longest tenure, and then looking at audits where intelligence has given us an indication of where we should be auditing based on condition of property. Another positive from last year was that we managed to recover 14 properties through fraud investigations. So hopefully this year we will see the restructure be completed, which means that we can then focus on the tenancy side of things rather than just the rent, which will give us more time to deal with tenancy issues, which will hopefully make our tenants' lives better. Tenancy management issues, problem that seems to be occurring a lot is hoarding amongst tenants, and as such we have created a hoarding panel. Hopefully we will be able to assist people with the hoarding issues, which makes homes safer, helps towards their mental well-being, feeding towards the 2040 vision.
Welcome to the Allocations and Housing Register annual report for the last financial year. We'll show data relating to the allocation of vacant social housing in 21 to 22, as well as providing some headline information on the demand for housing through the Council's Housing Register. During 21 to 22, 519 households were rehoused into council and housing association properties. This would obviously have significantly improved the lives of all the people in those households. The number breaks down as 409 households who've moved into council properties and 110 who moved into housing association homes. Now let's look at some information on those lettings. Of the housing association properties, 35 were studio or 1-bedroom properties. 6 were vacancies within sheltered or retirement schemes. There were 54 2-bedroom properties, 13 3-bedroom properties, and 2 4-bedroom homes. This slide shows how many households were housed from each applicant stream. Of the lets into council-owned accommodation, there were 105 lettings in sheltered accommodation, of which 95 were 1-bedroom properties and 10 were 2-bedroom properties. In respect of lettings of general needs properties, 113 were 1-bedroom, 115 were 2-bedrooms, 70 properties had 3 bedrooms, and there were 3 each of 4 and 5-bedroom properties. The relative shortage of 3, 4 and 5-bedroom council and housing association vacancies should be noted. This chart shows when properties let month by month. You will note that there are no strong seasonal variations. This chart shows the type of properties that were let. The majority of council properties are low-rise flats, which are shown here as LRF. HRF are high-rise flats, and there are a few MRF. These are medium rise flat. Now we'll see some information relating to voids turnarounds. It is crucial for the council to ensure that properties are empty for as short a time period as possible. We aim for the shortest possible void turnaround time so that the period that we do not receive rent for is minimised, and also to ensure waiting households are housed as quickly as possible. This chart shows the reasons that properties became empty. These are the average relet times. This is the period of time that the property sits empty between tenants. Our targets were not met during 21 to 22, and we are therefore working hard to improve this performance. When we receive a property back in poor condition, the cost of improving it for the next occupant and the time taken to do this is increased. Now some information on the housing register. This chart shows the breakdown by size of property required by housing applicants. During the course of 21 to 22, we contacted all housing applicants who had not placed a bid for a property on our choice-based lettings service for over a year. This resulted in over 5,000 applications being removed from the housing register.
Hi, I'm Tenant. I'm the sheltered housing manager for Luton. I am responsible for a team which manages 22 sites across the town. We've got a mixture of schemes including general sheltered and extra care, with a total of around almost 1,000 tenants all in. That's obviously quite a challenging role for myself and the team, and a very important role considering that we house some of the most vulnerable tenants in our town. Over the past year, our biggest challenges have been sort of coming out of the tail end of COVID. Also, that's the direct issues, but also the indirect issues around isolation that have really come up over the past 2 years. So over the past year, we've really been focusing on trying to get our tenants to come out and re-engage, and we're sort of trying to engage with those tenants again. And we're doing this by re-engaging through our coffee time events and our tenants meetings, trying to encourage tenants to come out. Through this year, we've begun working with a team in adult social care around really trying to reinvigorate activities in the schemes. Activities have always been a massive part of sheltered housing, so we're working with those guys in adult social care. First of all, trying to understand what tenants would like to see taking place in their schemes. This year, particular challenges, aside from COVID, I would say, has been staffing. We entered a period of limited staffing resources for this year and going into next year. I've already mentioned around activities and the importance of that. We're also going to be working with BTS, who we've always worked with in relation to our scheme upgrades. Those have slowed over the past 2 years, again due to COVID mainly, but going into next year we really want to reinvigorate those and work with BTS to ensure that all of our schemes have been upgraded and sort of taken them forward. Part of those upgrades are around the furniture and structure of the buildings. It also includes upgrades to our call systems to make sure that we operate the most up-to-date call systems in all of our schemes.
Hi, I'm Yinka King and I'm the Concierge and Inspections Manager. The concierge team provide a service to tenants and residents of the high-rise blocks and the low-rise. Our aim is to ensure that we keep the environment clean. We ensure that the estates are well maintained, safe, and also attractive to our residents. We manage over 430 properties in the low-rise blocks. We've got 11 high-rise and a lot of garages across Luton. We are currently working on our healthy estate strategy. The objectives of our healthy estates are to promote healthy and fulfilling lives. We are delivering this by promoting alcohol risk awareness, mental health awareness, fuel poverty, energy efficiency, and so on. Also, we'll continue to provide attractive and diverse green spaces. In order to do this, we ensure that we have appropriate lighting across our estates, a defensible space on our estates as well. We connect to our flat blocks using CCTV where appropriate. Also, we have door entry system in our blocks to reduce antisocial behavior. We have a cleaning service for internal and external areas in our block to ensure that they are kept in clean conditions and also, most importantly, safe for our residents. We are currently implementing water saving projects. We also installed bollards and no parking areas in 5 Springs. We are currently working with local people and will continue to do so. In Luton, we have the 2040 vision, and as a team, we have incorporated this vision in our healthy estate strategy by promoting healthy and fulfilling lives, also promoting positive mental health across the estate. We have also increased our focus on using local suppliers and including social value in our procurement process. The concierge service will continue to be the eyes and the ears on the estate. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maureen Herdman and I'm the Tenant Participation Manager. My team's role is to ensure that tenants can have their say and are consulted on housing services. This means that we need tenants to participate and get involved in all the plans that we have for housing services. In the past year, we've strengthened our Tenant Partnership Board with new members and with some targeted training, meaning that they're better prepared to deal with what's coming in the future. We've also worked with our tenant scrutiny panel. They have reviewed repairs service and we are now looking at how to make improvements in that area. We also have run various surveys, and to keep everyone informed on the results and next steps, we send out regular letters and newsletters to tenants. We've recruited new key customers and run a variety of events and walkabouts across the town. Alongside this, we've been planning for the future, and we want to continue to strengthen participation in the coming year, and we will do this by working with tenants to ensure that we meet new regulatory standards that's been brought out by the government, and by increasing the number of tenants who get involved. Our plans are to hold more key customer events, more local meetings, and set up some specialist groups looking at various areas of the service. We plan to link our work to the Council's 2040 vision by helping tenants to make the most of their life chances. This will include with working with specific groups to grow their own food and by providing tenant rep training that provides transferable skills. We're always looking for new ideas for how we can work with you and how we can improve services, and we're always looking for new volunteers. So if anyone's interested, please don't hesitate to get in touch with the Tenant Participation team.
So I'm Claire Astbury, I'm Head of Housing Strategy and Development. My small team covers the building of new council homes, improving energy efficiency, encouraging more affordable housing in the town, and housing strategy projects. We're filming here at Stopsley Mobile Home Park to acknowledge the work which is underway to provide all these homes with a connection to the gas grid and install more efficient boilers and appliances. This will end the reliance on expensive bottled gas, and it's entirely funded through £100,000 of national grants. This has been a great success for our Energy Efficiency Officer, Shabir Hussain, working with residents and colleagues from Tenant Participation, Housing Management and BTS. We're all concerned about rising energy prices and fuel poverty, along with the challenges of reducing our carbon footprint as part of the Luton's 2040 commitment to achieving net zero carbon. This is also a way we're supporting the Council's ambitions around improving health across Luton. Looking to the future, our new build development is switching to net zero carbon design. So council homes which are designed from this year will have high energy efficiency and low emissions. And councillors have agreed this year to increase the budget provision for new council homes, meaning we can ramp up the number of development projects we are bringing forward and also look at buying homes for use as council housing. Some members of the Tenant Board were involved in the consultation process for our new housing strategy this summer, including a Luton Housing Conference in July 2022. The new strategy is now nearing completion. We expect it to be signed off by the end of the year. Alongside this work, our team has been helping the department work towards accreditation from the Domestic Abuse Housing Alliance. This will help improve our services to people experiencing domestic abuse and to acknowledge our work with a nationally recognised award. We're working hard to increase affordable housing in Luton and to link up our work to wider ambitions such as improving health and reducing carbon, and this is all part of our Luton 2040 vision.
Hi, my name's Tim Keogh. I'm the head of BTS, which is responsible for the asset management of Luton Council's housing stock. We run quite a large team of about 250 staff, spending about £23 million a year, doing a variety of things all the way from tap repairs all the way up to building new properties. What I feel we've achieved this year, primarily the biggest scheme we've had for a number of years, is the £34 million investment in the Luton high-rise stock, where we're overcladding those blocks and carrying out other technical improvements which will reduce the carbon footprint of those blocks, improve energy efficiency, and also reduce the amount of money that tenants are actually spending on heat and energy at this point in time, which is a very worthwhile cause. We've continued to maintain statutory compliance, which is always a challenge in itself, but we have a very good record in terms of statutory compliance. That's relating to gas servicing, electrical inspections, and asbestos and other areas of work. We also refurbish and extend a large number of properties, particularly on the refurbishment. We've done about 600 void refurbishments this year to a very high standard, and also extended a number of properties to provide essential larger adapted units. I've already mentioned the energy efficiency programme on the high rise, but we also undertake energy efficiency on other properties where we put in triple glazing, solar power, solar thermal, and also upgrading of boilers to current high efficiency standards. What are our plans going forward? Well, one of our main areas is building new homes. This year we have started on Buckle Close, which is 37 new flats. We've also nearly completed Denham and Morris Close, which is a further 6 much needed larger houses. In addition to that, we have a programme for extending properties to provide larger homes as well, as I mentioned previously. How do we contribute to 2040 vision? I think, as I mentioned, in terms of energy efficiency, reducing the carbon footprint of Luton is one of the primary objectives of 2040, and I think we're going a long way towards that by undertaking the improvements to the high-rise blocks and other energy efficiency projects where we have on site at the moment and a plan for the future. And the other area I think where we do invest heavily in Luton is that we spend most of our money with Luton subcontractors. Most of our staff are from the Luton area, so we are spending the Luton pound within the Luton area should go some way to reducing poverty. Thanks very much.
Hi, my name is Abdul Kahir. I'm the Housing Asset Manager working for the Housing Asset Team, Building and Technical Services. Some of the works that we're carrying out to the housing estates, one of the main one is the high-rise insulation project, which is partly funded by European Regional Fund. The works include insulation to the external walls, LED light bulbs, heat recovery systems, all of which will help towards residents' energy bills. It goes some way in helping out the fuel poverty for the residents and also the Council's 2040. As part of our remit within the Housing Asset Team, we deliver various health and safety works to our properties to make sure houses are safe to live in. Whether indirectly or directly, we have invested several millions of pounds of works which directly relate to residents' health and safety well-being. These include 15 school events benefiting 603 children, 40 volunteering hours, 60 virtual training courses, 710 energy booklets been distributed among all the residents within the high rises and beyond, and 1 local apprenticeship scheme who has gone on to become a fully fledged customer liaison officer. Despite the challenges that COVID-19 brought along, we continue to maintain our properties while keeping our residents and contractors safe. As a summary of all the works that we've carried out last year, these include 457 boilers, 428 insulation works, 179 triple glazed windows, 211 rewires, 124 bathrooms, 152 fire door installations, 45 roof replacements, and 20 solar panel and battery storage systems.
So thank you for taking the time out to watch this short video. And what I really do implore tenants and residents out there is to join us to help to manage your estates, to manage your areas. We've got quite a lot of work going on to get more tenants involved and participating in the things we're doing across the borough. We want you to organise in tenants residents associations more, and that's a part of the work that we're doing more and more. So come together, let's work together, and let's make Luton a great place.